Just got this 15-gallon Harbor Freight sprayer, and has a 15-foot hose on it. I want to be able to pull it behind my golf cart, and I'm also going to extend the hose by at least 20 foot. I'll try to get that in the video, but I have this old wagon. It's that bed I put on the back of the golf cart. I made a video for that the other day. But this is the frame part of that wagon. It's taking the top off over there. So the first thing I got to do, because it was a dump type trailer, I need to make it to where this is going to hold steady, because right now it just swivels, so I'm going to have to weld that to make it to stay steady. Basically, well, this is up in the air about the right height, so that'll be the first thing I need to do. And then I plan on using basically some pieces of rebar and making it basically type of frame for this little tank to set on there. I know 15-gallon don't really sound like much, but when you, think of 3 5-gallon buckets full of water, that's heavy, and definitely this is the way to go here. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Found 2 little pieces of scrap metal and made them work. Now I can see I can lift this up. It's on there. This metal right here is really thin and weak. Might be okay. I'm trying to think of another way I can try to add some support though, maybe. So I just set it on there. I'm thinking that's the way I want to run it. Could do it that way, I guess, but I think this way makes more sense. So I got to strengthen this up and tie this to the back piece on both sides. I got both those sides on. Hold this together a lot better. All right, so I welded this on. I measured it to be not quite as tall as that, pretty close. Held them as straight as I could. Now that one's a little off, but close enough for what it is. And welded it on there. Still need to clean up this one. This is what it looks like. Now I gotta flip it around. I'm gonna set this on there, and it'll set up on the inside against these. And then I'm gonna do the same thing the other side, and it'll kind of hug the sprayer. All right, so there it is. Lots of cutting and holding and trying to get everything straight. Waiting for these welds to cool. It'll be a little bit, and then this should fit in there pretty snug. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to do anything else. I may have to end up like using a strap over the top, like hooked on here and here over it to help it. The only way it really could slide out is from the ends. However, this isn't really wide enough for me to do a whole lot there unless I start trying to bend rebar and stuff, which would be not really worth it, but that's what it looks like for now. There it is. I ain't gonna need nothing on the sides because I actually had to use a little bit of a tap of my hammer to snug it in there. It's on there. That is what it looks like. Actually, these are a little harder to weld, but I'm gonna go ahead and add these on there to help stop this top part from being so flimsy, kind of help support it a little bit better. That's it though.